Next question. You want to, the next question is 50-50. Do you want to just go through it? Maybe you can summarize quicker than normal or whatever because of what you already discussed. Anyway, let's go real quick here. One of the recommendations in the Reducing Alcohol Harms study report from LA County was to ensure compliance with responsible sales and serving practices. So what the previous question had to do with is that a restaurant, let's say a table of 4 is sitting down there and they are ordering food, the waiter or waitress has to be aware, somewhat aware, of what they're selling and alcohol to them. So let's say if they bring them $50 of drinks, the waitress has to be, or waiter, has to be aware that they're going to need to buy about $50 of food. If they don't do that, they're in violation of Hermosa Beach Municipal Code, which was just discussed in the last sentence. So just real quick, would strict enforcement of the 50-50 with verified documentation reduce alcohol-related problems? And once again, it's within the Hermosa Beach Municipal Code, and that would be for, let me see, Michael.
It's me. I definitely, just to answer this quick, I think that no doubt enforcement would contribute to the reduction of alcohol-related problems, but this is one small item in a group of probably a dozen items. I don't think this, and I'm not minimizing the need to do it, I'm just saying enforcing this doesn't also overnight produce a different kind of nightlife response. I think it needs to be, there's a more comprehensive approach. We need to include this in it because we haven't for too long, but nobody should be misled to think this is the answer either.
Thanks, Michael. Pete?
Thank you. As I stated earlier, we're about to embark on a random audit of 3 establishments, and there again, it will, until they know who the lucky lottery winners are, they're all going to be on hopefully their best behavior and hopefully come close to the 50-50. Is it possible to come to a 50-50 every month, every year? Probably not. But it's a tool we have that when we have a problem and we see alcohol is up here and food's way down here, that's why we have the problem. If they're close, and as when we do our CUP reviews and there are no problems, then it's fine. But it's a tool we have to say when there's a problem there, it's alcohol related, and you're not really serving any food in the later hours. And like I said earlier, a lot of people now are coming down preloaded to the plaza, and they're already almost intoxicated. So yeah, they might buy some food, but there's still going to be a problem. It's a culture we have in the area here that needs to be broken, as I stated earlier, and we need to do more outreach and it really starts in the schools, and even with our establishments, a lot of them are beginning to do different programs, put things on napkins, quit serving a half hour to 45 minutes before they close. They're very much aware of the 50-50 rule, and they have, believe me, they have a lot at stake if they get shut down. And it's a great investment to own a restaurant, and they don't want to lose one day, but they all know that they have to cooperate. They've all signed their CUPs. They said, yes, we will abide by this. And 50-50 is one aspect of it, but when you go down there, every door and window on the plaza is open again. Their CUP says they're all supposed to be closed. I was down there once with one of the police captains, and he instructed one of the patrolmen, go over and cite him. And he said, do I have to? And he said, yes, they're violating the code. You've seen it. We've stood here for 20 minutes. Cite him. He didn't want to cite him. If the captain hadn't been there, wouldn't have cited him. And those kind of things, that kind of has to stop. And our law enforcement and our personnel have to say, you know what, your doors and windows, shut them. Tell them. After that, we cite them. And we just have to play hardball. Because as we heard here tonight, based on these questions, people want relief from the downtown. Residents of this community want to be able to go back downtown and enjoy the beach life. And that's why we all moved here. We don't want to go down there. we're about ready to embark on banning smoking down there. That's great. Hopefully that might deter some people.
Thanks, Pete.
So, but anyway, I just think that we need continually to ratchet it up, and the more you ratchet it up, hopefully, a lot of this will go away, and some of these young adults will go to other communities.
Thanks, Pete. Haney?
I think on the 50-50 rule, I think everybody here agrees that it should be enforced. There's some issues just to enforcement on the example that was mentioned about an expensive bottle of wine, and I really don't know an answer to that, but the bottom line, it should be enforced, but it's only one factor. We've mentioned a couple of the other factors, the over-serving, the underage, serving the underage kids. So I think you look at it as one issue, but look at the big picture, and I think the enforcement should be for all the issues that are before us. Another issue I'll mention briefly, and I don't know exactly how the 50-50 folds in, is we have a lot of establishments that now have the alcohol by right permit rather than a CUP. And as long as they serve beer and alcohol only and they close at 10 o'clock, it's an alcohol by right. So if we don't have that CUP power to enforce against these establishments, I don't know if we even audit them and the audit results don't come up the way we look at them, what power the city has. I think I was in a city council meeting where our city attorney mentioned that in a situation where you do not have a CUP and you need to close a place down, you basically have to go to court and basically get an order to close them down. And I don't know if our city has the willingness to do that. So it is an issue. It definitely needs to be enforced, but I think there's some facilities out there that enforcement may be difficult. And I think, Sandy, people like you should come up and talk to the city council and remind them of how important it is to our community, how important it is for our people to go back to the Pier Plaza and be able to go there at 10 o'clock at night on a Friday night and have dinner without having to worry about the safety for them and for their kids, and to make sure that the city council takes actions to make sure that our city, our downtown area is safe for everybody. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Haney. Steve?
Peter and Michael, in the spirit in which I'm going to answer this question, okay? When I first moved to Hermosa Beach, or when I first got involved with Hermosa, was in '85 when I met my wife. We used to walk on the Strand. We would walk down there at 9 o'clock. We would have a nice dinner, and we would walk back, okay? Now, Peter, you've been on the council 8 years, and Michael, you've been on the council 4 years. And I have to tell you, it's a disaster. And until we get tough, really, really tough, on the guys that own those businesses down there, really tough, okay? It's not going to change. It's just not going to change. And when I say tough, that means walk into the place, lock the doors, count the heads. If they're supposed to have 300 and there's 301, close it, okay? And unless we do that, nothing is going to happen. Nothing's going to change. It's the city council's responsibility to make this city safe for all of its residents, so you can all enjoy all the parts of the city. And I have